Aggies, Andrew Monaco joins us, and appreciate your patience, Andrew. Thanks for being a part of the show. Appreciate it. We had some stats earlier about A&M, non-conference games on the road, ranked teams or not, and the history's not good, and there's a lot of teams that don't win many games like that on the road, but is it time? Is this the team that has a chance to pop this, even though we know Notre Dame's pretty good?
Yeah, Notre Dame is very good, and I think it is under Mike Elko. What always impresses me about Mike is with all of his teams, when he's there a second year, I absolutely love the steps that they take and get better in year number 2. Not that they're bad in year number 1. That's just having the Mike Elko influence and what they've all learned, and now they are able to share with one another. He retains an awful lot of players. They don't leave. They like playing under Mike and his coaches. And yes, this is an opportunity, a team they're familiar with, a team that last year came into Kyle Field and won. And can the Aggies return that favor at Notre Dame on Saturday? We'll certainly see. A lot of similarities, but some things that are different and some things that Notre Dame's going to see that they didn't see last year. More explosive wide receivers. They're going to see Marcel Reed at quarterback. They didn't see Marcel last year. It was Connor Wigman, but they're also going to see some familiar faces, a lot of familiar faces on that defense, and they're going to see that same offensive line that they saw last year as well.
Andrew, through the first couple games, and again, kind of difficult to tell, just because they haven't played this is their toughest game so far, but UTSA came right at them and wasn't afraid. And they responded to maybe like, oh, hey, these guys are serious pretty well in that game. It looks to me that the biggest change on offense is they feel comfortable passing and running the ball and doing whichever one most can win the game for them. As we're towards the end of the year last year, it was kind of let's just see. Like, let's it's like Indiana Jones. Like, can you jump over the thing or not? Right.
It's a great point. Yeah. And I think that's where Marcel has really developed, or is still developing. I don't think it's past tense. I think it's still going on with all quarterbacks, how he is maturing as a quarterback. What is the defense going to give him? And I'm with you. I thought in week number 1, UTSA was going to take away Le'Veon Moss and Reuben Owens and that running game for Texas A&M. What they forgot was the explosiveness of Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver. Look, we didn't even know that. We had seen Mario Craver against Texas A&M the year before for Mississippi State, and Mike Elko had seen Casey Concepcion when he was at Duke as Casey was playing, and he had to try to stop him at NC State. I think that was the difference, and you could see that speed was the difference, and you could see that I thought Texas A&M was able to wear down both of those schools in the first 2 weeks. Not so sure you can wear down Notre Dame. I just think it's still a line of scrimmage game. It's almost like conference game number 1 for Texas A&M, even though they have a bye and then they take on Auburn. I'd like to see A&M get that running game established and make it easier for Marcel, but he is a better thrower, and you saw him throw some wide receivers open. You saw them go over the top, and I'll be very interested now to see how he reacts playing for what we are suspecting will be a man-to-man coverage, and they've got a secondary that can certainly do that. They've got guys on the defensive line that can certainly get to Marcel Reed, and they've got outstanding linebackers as well. It's going to be a challenge for sure. And I thought Al Golden's defense last year, 4 years together, you could see that togetherness by that Notre Dame defense last year. I know Chris Ash is the DC, but it's a lot of those same players. They sure play well together, and that's what the Aggies are going to have. One of many things they're going to have to face on Saturday.
You mentioned a couple of the names there, Concepcion, Craver. How are you feeling about the skill position? Seems like so far so good, but just the total package, what most stands out and maybe what, if anything, leaves a little bit to be desired or just uncertain still at the moment?
For me, that wide receiver group might be the best since I've been here. And they've had some good receivers, but I don't think they've had the playmakers and the game breakers that they have in Concepcion and Craver. And I don't want to leave out Ashton Bethel-Roman as well. He's one of those guys who got an awful lot of feel in that first year as a freshman. Terry Bussey as well was a freshman last year, and he was all over the place. He was, receiver, and then when they were down running backs, they would get the ball to him as a running back. And I also like the explosiveness in their return game, both punt and kick return. And I really think you're going to force Notre Dame to have to decide, are you going to kick to Terry Bussey on the kickoff? Are you going to kick to Casey Concepcion on the punt, because they have been explosive, and that has set up Texas A&M for some drives? The first touchdown of the year was a Casey Concepcion punt return for a touchdown. I think this offensive line has to really establish some dominance. I think it has a ways to get better. I'm hoping that it's very similar to the year they were a Joe Moore Award finalist. They really didn't come together until Florida, when they beat Florida 41-38. And I think specifically on a 4th and 2, when the play call came in that it was going to be a handoff to Isaiah Spiller, they blocked. Isaiah 19 yards later was in the end zone. I don't think they can wait, though, that long into this season. I think that offensive line has got to establish some kind of running game. Now, they have given Marcel time, and I think he is trusting that offensive line and obviously trusting that arm. He was never skitterish, but it was, okay, I don't have it. I'm going to get out and run. I think he's understanding the value of staying in that pocket, going through the progression, and then as that last option, being very smart when he does run the ball.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because when he came in last year, he came in, had a nice start, threw a deep ball. I forgot, over the middle. But I always wondered about his vision, because he's not, the prototypical quarterback, but he does find space. And it seemed like he's more comfortable with that now.
Yeah, I think he is. And I think that's the second year with Colin Klein. I think there's that development as well, where you have now 4 eyes, 2 sets of eyes looking, and what are you seeing? And then at a certain point, to me, it's almost like the point guard and the head coach, that quarterback and that offensive coordinator. Now Marcel has to see it on his own and say, I've got this, whether that will be what he identifies and changes a play at the line of scrimmage. But, it's funny, because throughout this recruiting season, there was, and even the offseason, well, can Marcel throw it? And he helped recruit Casey Concepcion here, and he helped recruit Mario Craver. And what they said when they were visiting and they were throwing to one another in the practice facility was, hey, he can really spin it. And I think there's now that trust. I love the touchdowns to interceptions, and I give him a lot of credit. He's never really thrown a lot of interceptions in his career, but he's going to make the right decisions. And are there times when he isn't? Yeah, that's going to come. Or, hey, I can get that ball in that window, and he's going to have to identify some things on the fly. But I think what Mike Elko said early is, I think, really interesting. He now knows what it takes to be a starting quarterback in the SEC. We kind of forget that. And all that goes with that, not just knowing the plays, it's that leadership in the huddle, at the line, making the right decisions, off the field as well. I think he's got that makeup, and this team flat out plays for him. But we kind of forget what that's like, because it's a completely different responsibility from being the number 4 quarterback in your first year and then coming in after the first play of a bowl game and just letting it fly, because guess what? There's nobody else.
Yep.
To earning the backup role last year, everybody was surprised, and then taking over. Now he's had the entire offseason to make himself better and make him more of a leader.
Are you concerned a little bit about how the run defense has been, given that they are going to play a team in Notre Dame that's going to go right at them?
I think they're going to exactly go right at him. In fact, I thought it was the Jeremiah Love last year that helped put that game away. It was the big run. Now, Coach Elko said after Utah State, he thought everything was firmer and a little more solid, but they still gave up some big plays. And this is what I've often thought. Against certain teams, that might be 15, 20 yards. Against other teams, the band's playing, right? They're sailing into the end zone. That's just the way it is, and it's going to have to be even firmer. Now, Mike looked at the tape after week 1. He really loved what TJ Searcy did. We as fans will look, okay, how many sacks did he have? He really liked how he played against the run and thought he was really good at the point of attack. It can't be just TJ Searcy. It's going to have to be Albert Regis, and it's going to have to be Tyler Onyedim, and it's going to have to be DJ Hicks. We saw what Cassius Howe did on that end. You guys know, if that D-line does their job, guess what? Torian York can make another double-digit tackles, because he's going to be able to. But they all have to be in that position, because I'm with you. I think Notre Dame is going to try to impose their will with the running game and try to make it as easy as possible for CJ Carr. Conversely, I think CJ Carr is going to see some things he didn't even see against Miami. And I think there's going to be some things that this Mike Elko defense didn't show in the first 2 weeks against UTSA and Utah State. There's going to be some pressure coming. He's not going to know where it's coming from. To me, it's a fascinating chess match.
Again, Andrew Monaco, South Bend, Indiana. I don't, when they played Notre Dame last year, I asked you, had you done a game there at all in your broadcast career at South Bend? I can't remember your answer, to be honest.
No,
okay.
I can't wait to get on the plane. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
and land there. The history and the tradition. Are you kidding?
Oh.
We've talked about this, right? Bucket list places. South Bend's one of them.
Yeah.
Is it not? I mean, it's
Absolutely.
just, I'm so looking forward. And then the atmosphere, I'm probably going to spend as much time as I can Saturday afternoon on campus, and then to be there at night. I think it's going to be something special.
I visited there. It's been about 8 to 10 years ago for a women's basketball tournament at Notre Dame when Baylor was playing there. And I got there a day the women played, and then that next day I walked all over the campus, went inside the stadium. The guy let me in the gate. The Newt Rockney's grave, which is a few minutes away from the campus, but it was also kind of a wintry kind of a day, which was because it was in March. It was perfect. The pavilion or the basketball arena, have fun with that, man, because there's stuff everywhere.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it's funny that you say that, because when you think about Notre Dame Stadium, you don't think sun splashed, right? You're thinking it's going to be cloudy. There might be a chance of sleet. There might football weather, right? That's exactly what you think about. Yeah, I also can't help but think like this. Like when you come into play at Texas A&M and all the places. If it's Baylor, you want to play in the Big 12. If it's Texas, also now the SEC. Texas A&M in the SEC. Also, I think games like this is why you sign up and say, I want to play at this school. Look, we've circled this home and home for a while. It's been in the works for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is here. But I think if you are a student athlete, I think this is also something special that you get to play at Notre Dame over the course of your college career.
Yep. Hey, Andrew, have a great call, great trip. Enjoy the memories and all of the history and tradition. I know you will. Of course, there's Touchdown Jesus and all that too, which is pretty intimidating, by the way. And enjoy all that. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me. Wonderful talking to you.
You too. Andrew Monaco.